You wake up at 4 in the morning to the sound of someone shouting, "Catch up! Catch up!" The year is 1847. You're somewhere in what will become Nebraska, and you've just signed up for the most brutal road trip in American history. You think you're tough because you've been camping, maybe done some hiking, survived a few music festivals. You have absolutely no idea what you've gotten yourself into. By this time tomorrow, you'll either be begging to turn around, lying unconscious in the back of a wagon, or quite possibly dead. Welcome to the Oregon Trail, where your modern sensibilities and 21st century body are about to meet the unforgiving reality of westward expansion. Let's start with that 4 a.m. wake-up call, because sleep is about to become a luxury you can't afford. You didn't sleep well anyway. The ground beneath your bedroll felt like it was made of rocks because it literally was made of rocks. Your back is already screaming. Your hip bones feel bruised, and you've been listening to the sound of 2,000 oxen chewing and snorting all night. The temperature dropped to near freezing, your blanket is damp with dew, and you're pretty sure something crawled across your face around midnight. But none of that matters now, because the wagon train is moving out, and if you're not ready, you're getting left behind. Your first challenge is breakfast, and this is where your modern expectations crash headfirst into frontier reality. There's no coffee shop, no drive-through, no refrigerator full of leftovers. If you're lucky, you might get some hardtack, which is basically a brick-hard biscuit that could double as a weapon. More likely, you're getting bacon that's been sitting in a barrel for weeks, swimming in its own grease, or beans that have been soaking overnight if someone remembered to start them. The water you're drinking comes from whatever muddy stream the wagon train camped near, and it tastes like it looks. You're already starting to feel queasy, and you haven't even started walking yet. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about the Oregon Trail. You're walking, not riding in a covered wagon like some romantic Western movie. Those wagons are crammed full of everything your family owns, plus 6 months of supplies. There's no room for passengers unless you're actively dying. So you're walking 20 miles today in whatever shoes you brought from back east, which definitely weren't designed for this. Your feet are going to be destroyed before noon. But first, you have to help get the wagon train moving, and this is where your complete ignorance of 19th century technology becomes a serious problem. You need to help harness the oxen, and these aren't cute farm animals. These are massive, powerful beasts that weigh as much as a small car and have absolutely no interest in your comfort or safety. You don't know how to put on their yokes, you don't understand their temperament, and when one of them decides to wander off, you have no idea how to get it back. The other pioneers are getting frustrated with you because every minute wasted here means more walking in the heat of the day. By 6 a.m., the wagon train is finally moving, and your real education begins. You thought you were in decent shape, but walking 20 miles on flat ground is completely different from walking 20 miles across the Great Plains. There are no roads here, just ruts worn by previous wagon trains, and those ruts are full of mud, rocks, and holes that can break an ankle. The terrain rolls up and down constantly, and what looks like a gentle slope from a distance turns out to be a lung-burning climb when you're actually doing it. The sun is getting higher now, and you're starting to understand why the pioneers called this the Great American Desert. There's no shade anywhere. The wind never stops, and it's not a pleasant breeze. It's a constant, hot blast that dries out your mouth and fills your eyes with dust. Your lips are already cracking, your throat feels like sandpaper, and you're starting to drink more water than you should. Water discipline is crucial out here, because you don't know where the next clean source is going to be. Around 10 a.m., you encounter your first river crossing, and this is where the Oregon Trail starts trying to kill you in earnest. Rivers don't have bridges out here. You either ford them or you don't continue west. The river doesn't look that deep, maybe 3 feet, but the current is stronger than it appears, and the bottom is slick with mud and hidden rocks. The wagons have to be waterproofed and floated across. The oxen have to swim, and you have to help guide everything while trying not to drown. Your modern brain is screaming about all the things that could go wrong. What if a wagon tips over? What if the current sweeps away your oxen? What if you slip and fall and get trampled? These aren't hypothetical concerns. People died at river crossings all the time. You're watching thousands of dollars worth of supplies, plus everything your family owns, balanced on a wooden box, floating across a river that could destroy it all in seconds. Your stress levels are through the roof, and you still have 12 hours of walking ahead of you. By noon, the heat is becoming unbearable. The temperature is pushing 90 degrees. There's still no shade. And you're learning why the pioneers started so early in the morning. Your clothes are soaked with sweat, but the dry air means the sweat evaporates immediately, cooling you down but also dehydrating you faster. You're starting to feel dizzy, and your vision is getting a little blurry around the edges. These are early signs of heat exhaustion, but you can't stop because the wagon train doesn't stop for individual problems. Your feet are in agony now. Whatever shoes you wore are definitely not designed for this kind of punishment. Blisters have formed and popped and formed again. Your socks are bloody, if you even have socks. Your legs are cramping from the constant walking on uneven ground, and your back is screaming from the unnatural posture you have to maintain while guiding oxen and watching for obstacles. Then you smell it. Something is wrong with the food supplies. That barrel of bacon you ate from this morning, it's starting to turn in the heat. The meat is developing an iridescent sheen and a smell that makes your stomach churn. But you can't throw it away because food is too precious out here, so you're faced with a choice: eat potentially spoiled meat or go hungry. Either option could kill you, just in different ways. Around 2 p.m., you face the afternoon crisis that breaks most people. Equipment failure. Maybe it's a broken wheel, maybe a snapped ox yoke, maybe a torn wagon cover. Whatever it is, it needs to be fixed immediately or the wagon train leaves you behind. But you don't have the skills to fix 19th century technology with 19th century tools. You do not know how to replace a wheel hub or patch a canvas cover or whittle a new yoke pin. These were basic life skills for pioneers, but you've never needed them before. You're watching your entire journey potentially end because you can't perform what was considered simple maintenance. The psychological pressure is starting to get to you too. You're surrounded by people who are depending on you, and you're failing them constantly. Every mistake you make affects not just you, but everyone in your wagon party. You're slowing them down, using up their resources, and creating problems they have to solve. The social dynamics of a wagon train are intense and unforgiving. There's no privacy, no personal space, and no tolerance for people who can't pull their weight. By late afternoon, you're starting to understand why so many people died on the Oregon Trail, and it's not what you expected. It's not dramatic shootouts with outlaws or attacks by wild animals. It's the slow, grinding wear of constant physical demands combined with inadequate food, contaminated water, and zero medical care. Your body is breaking down in ways you've never experienced. Your immune system is compromised from stress and poor nutrition. Every cut and scrape is an infection waiting to happen. The dust is the worst part. It gets into everything: your food, your water, your clothes, your lungs. You're coughing constantly now, and when you spit, it comes out brown. Your eyes are red and irritated, and you can feel grit between your teeth no matter how much water you drink. This dust carries diseases, bacteria, and particles of dried animal waste from the thousands of livestock that have passed this way before you. As the sun starts to set, you face the evening routine, and you're already dreading tomorrow. The oxen need to be unyoked, watered, and secured for the night. The wagon needs to be checked for damage and repairs. Dinner needs to be cooked over a fire made from buffalo chips, because there's no wood out here on the prairie. You need to gather those buffalo chips yourself, which means handling dried buffalo dung with your bare hands, because that's the only fuel available. Your hands are destroyed by now. They're cracked, bleeding, and filled with splinters from handling rough wooden equipment all day. Every task requires you to use these damaged hands, and every task makes them worse. You can't wear gloves because you need dexterity for the intricate work of managing oxen and equipment. But without gloves, your hands are getting torn apart. The temperature is dropping fast now. Desert climates are like that, scorching during the day, freezing at night. You're going from heat exhaustion to hypothermia in a matter of hours. Your sweaty clothes are becoming a liability, drawing heat away from your body as the temperature plummets. You need to change clothes, but privacy is impossible when you're camped in a circle of wagons with 50 other people. Dinner is another nightmare. You're trying to cook spoiled meat over a fire made of dried dung using water that tastes like mud, while fighting off clouds of mosquitoes that have appeared with the setting sun. The food tastes terrible, but you have to eat it because you've burned thousands of calories today and you need to do it again tomorrow. Your stomach is cramping from the bad water and questionable meat, but you can't afford to get sick because sick people slow down the wagon train. As you try to settle in for the night, you realize you're not just physically exhausted, you're psychologically shattered. The constant stress, the physical pain, the social pressure, and the knowledge that you have to do this again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that for the next 4 to 6 months has broken something inside you. You're lying on the hard ground, listening to the sounds of 2,000 animals, staring up at stars that seem impossibly far away, and wondering how anyone ever survived this journey. You've been on the Oregon Trail for exactly 1 day, and you already know you're not going to make it. Your body's broken, your spirit is crushed, and you have 150 days of this still ahead of you. The pioneers who made this journey weren't superhuman. They were just people who had grown up with skills and expectations that prepared them for this kind of hardship. They knew how to repair equipment, preserve food, treat injuries, and cope with discomfort in ways that we've completely forgotten. You thought you were tough, but toughness isn't about enduring a weekend camping trip or finishing a marathon. It's about functioning when everything hurts, when you're scared and tired and hungry, when there's no end in sight and no option to quit. It's about making life or death decisions with incomplete information while taking care of other people who are depending on you. Tomorrow morning, that 4 a.m. wake-up call is going to come again, and you're going to have to get up and do it all over again. Except tomorrow you'll be starting with a body that's already damaged, feet that are already destroyed, and a spirit that's already been broken by the reality of what the Oregon Trail actually demanded from the people brave enough or desperate enough to attempt it. The Oregon Trail wasn't an adventure. It was a grinding test of human endurance that claimed 1 in 10 of the people who attempted it. And after just 24 hours, you'd understand exactly why.